Welcome back. 25 again by Body Shapes Medical. Lisa Innenbach is here, and I'm picking your brain during the commercial break. Okay, how'd you do this? What are you feeling about this? Because if you're like myself, you may be feeling some of the symptoms that Tiffany was feeling, and you want some of the results. She says she can conquer the world right now. Nothing wrong with that. When I was reading your little bio here, Tiffany, and by the way, thanks for putting that together for me because I want to be familiar with my guest. You said something that was really, it was borderline offensive about your, and we won't mention names here, but former doctors that you had seen. You said they dismissed you.
Yes.
Well, when dismissed you, in what way and why, do you think?
It's like I wasn't important enough to take deep concern into. They weren't looking into anything, and I think a lot of it is because they do have a lot of patients. But I was treated maybe as a number and not so much as a person, and they didn't take time to figure out what was going to be personal to me, as opposed to someone with the same symptoms but slightly different outlook, you know. He just kind of blew me off, like, and eventually just stopped calling with refills. So I went from okay medication to none.
See, and what I think happens, and you speak to this often, Lisa, and I want you to talk about this a little bit, is it's not your fault. Like sometimes I think you're made to feel like, oh, it's my fault, I'm lazy, or no, those energy levels are real, and the mood swings are real, and you've talked about that. A lot of times I think we tend to blame ourselves.
Sure,
and you go, okay, I've got to do something, you know, it's my fault. But it's really not, is it? It's something internal.
Not. That's what I say. There's nothing that you can do about your hormone levels going down. People ask me, do I need your services? Think about your birthday. If you're 35, you probably need us. If you're over 40, you definitely do. You only have about half of what you had. So we do look at numbers. Tiffany mentioned that, and we do look at numbers, and we try to make you optimal. But we're always there to treat the patient and their symptoms. We're never going to dismiss you if you say something's going on, you're not sleeping, or you don't feel well. We're going to change things. We're going to do everything to make it right. We also only have so many members per clinic. That's another thing unique about us. We're not going to take on thousands and thousands of patients because we know we have to spend time with you. That initial consult is an hour. Usually after that we spend a half hour. But guess what? If you need more, you've got it. Statistics show you have 5 to 7 minutes in with your internal medicine. That's not their fault. That's all you have. When you're telling them that you don't feel good and you're moody and you're tired throughout the day, as fast as they can, they're usually writing out an antidepressant. There's a time and a place for all those medications. I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying it's probably something else. You're probably not depressed. I was put on a antidepressant for years. After my mom passed away, I felt like maybe I did need it. That was situational. But then I thought, gosh, this really doesn't make me feel good. My body doesn't make Wellbutrin or Lexapro or whatever antidepressant that they might put you on. My body makes progesterone and testosterone and estrogen and vitamin D3 and all these healthy hormones that you want to be optimized in. You want those levels to be optimal, because if they're not only are you not going to feel good, you're not protecting your heart, you're not protecting your brain, you're not protecting yourself against Alzheimer's, all of these age-related diseases. This book I brought in today, this is what we went over the 3 days, and this is just session 1, proving over and over again studies that show without a doubt that these things, these hormones, bioidentical, the way we do it, absolutely prevent you. Give yourself a chance. Please give yourself a chance. $75 to sit for an hour. No one's going to force you to do it, but you're going to learn something about yourself. I promise you.
Yep. And Tiffany, you're living proof that it does work.
Yes.
And also the educational component of this. You are not only told, the doctor not only prescribes these hormones, but tells you what you need and why you need and shows you your blood work. In fact, you used a big word that I don't even know what it is. I'm going to defer to you guys. You said something about they put you on armor. Help me out.
Armor thyroid medicine.
Okay, thank you very much. It was like right over the old head here.
I love to talk about thyroid medication because in the regular medicine world, people will say, "Oh, my doctor said my thyroid was fine." We just kind of laugh at that. We test thyroid a little bit different. So there's 3 types of thyroid that we look at. There's TSH, which your regular physician will look at, and if you're lucky because you have the symptoms and you think your thyroid is low, they might put you on something called T4, levothyroxine, Synthroid, some of these things. None of them will look at T3. It is the only active form of thyroid that you have in your body, and it is the only thing that once it gets replaced will relieve the symptoms. Dry hair, dry skin, metabolism, hair falling out, blood pressure. There's so many things that thyroid does that I can't even list them all. But for the most part, energy levels, all these things that people come in for, and they say, well, my doctor said my thyroid is fine. And again, I just chuckle. Yeah, I know he or she said that it was fine, but it's not. Not if you're 35 or above, especially 40, I promise you, it's not okay. Your levels are low. You're not optimal. Your skin probably is dry. Your hair probably is falling out. Your energy levels are probably low. Your blood pressure might even be up. And people are like, well, yeah, I have all those symptoms, but they kept telling me it was okay. It's not okay. It's different. We look at it differently, and we are experts at it.
All right, so you had some thyroid issues.
Yeah.
You also apparently, you wanted to lose some weight.
Yeah.
And you went through the HCG program.
Yes.
Okay, so you're like a walking billboard for you.
Done it all.
Yeah.
Well, because you have the energy, you look great, you're telling me mentally you feel good, you even conquer the world, so these are all good things. If you have a question, 571-5263. So, HCG, what was that like, and what kind of results did you receive?
Well, that I started after I hit a little bump in the road. I was starting to get discouraged, and because I was like, do I continue with this? Because you do have normal days of life. Life is busy. It's demanding, and so I called up there, and Melissa, I talked to her, and I was like, I need a reboot. I don't know how to eat for my body anymore. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, I don't know how to plan a meal for someone who's 39 as opposed to 25. So she talked me through it, and I was like, yes, absolutely, I want to do this right now. And so after the first phase, I was down like 11 or 12 pounds, I think, between there, and I felt great. I mean, people look at the list and they're like, that's minimal, you don't eat anything. I was eating all the time. I never stopped eating. And especially at work, I have a very active job, and my team lead was feeding me snacks from my cooler. He was like, what do you want now? I was like, give me the shrimp, give me the cabbage, give me meal number 3. I had him labeled, I had him everything. I was like, just keep feeding me. And my energy was even more through the roof, and my skin like just got bouncy and vibrant again. And
did you find that, because this is what I'm feeling here, is did you find that because you were getting such good results and you're feeling better, looking better, getting comments from coworkers, and that's all positive about your energy levels, did you feel that snowball effect where you go, okay, now I want to do more, I want to take it to the next level kind of thing? Yes.
Yep, I ordered 2 more weeks of it. So I was like, I want more. And I think it was more than anything like, okay, the physical part will come, the looks will come, the progress will come, but it's the internal that they address first.
That's important.
So
you said your coworkers noticed too, right?
Oh yeah, it went going from almost losing my job because I couldn't stay awake or show up to now I'm like the backup, for the team lead of repairs and fixes things, and like queen of quality. Like it doesn't slip through my eyes because I'm alert. They're like, watch that. I was like, okay. Yeah. So they pay me a little extra to do a little more, but I mean, 2 years ago, I couldn't get out of bed,
Queen of quality. We want to steal that marketing.
Right?
Pretty good. We are.
It is. You guys could definitely use it.
You and Ted could be the king and queen of quality.
Yes.
Let's go to the phones. We ask for phone calls. You shall receive. And Tammy joins us now. Good afternoon, Tammy. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right. You have a question?
Yeah. My sister was 34 when she had breast cancer, and they said it was hormonal type. So that's what I'm a little concerned about, taking any hormones.
You should actually be concerned about not taking hormones. Depending on, if you don't have a history of cancer, you're absolutely a candidate. And even if you've had cancer in the past, we're able to treat some of those patients as well. We do have to work collaboratively. But I promise you, if you have a history of breast cancer in your family, the most protection that you can have is hormones, the way that we do it. Please don't be fooled by other hormones, because there are some hormones out there that they say, oh my gosh, that does cause cancer. You can only be on them for so long. The type of hormones that we provide, you can get on these hormones and stay on them lifelong. So it is absolutely protection. I would love to sit here and talk to you about all the studies that we have, but honestly, that would require you getting an appointment and going in and spending that hour. Please voice your concerns. Let them know. Like I said, this book is full of studies. We have physicians that write letters that have had breast cancer themselves, and they themselves are on the hormones. Why? Because they know it's going to prevent them from getting it again. And their family members are on the hormones because they know that can prevent them as well. So I encourage you to make that appointment to protect yourself.
Thank you for the call, Tammy. Very good question. Let's grab another question. Let's field another from George. George, good afternoon to you, and welcome to the show. Hope you had a good weekend.
Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend.
Good.
My thing is that, like I told the woman that answered the phone, I'm 76, and I'm second year out from chemotherapy. I have no energy. The list that you put up there, everything but Alzheimer's, I have the problem with. So I think is there anything that you think or you feel that you could do for me? I see her nodding her head yes.
Well, the hormones will absolutely help. You said you're 2 years off of chemo. If you don't mind, what type of cancer did you have? If you don't want to answer, that's okay. Sarcoma. Okay. Cancers are a very special situation. So what we need to do is get you on the phone with one of our physicians before you had the blood work done. Because the last thing we want to do is test your blood and then tell you, oh, sorry, you're not a candidate. Most of the time you have to wait at least 5 years out. Some of the time that you don't. We'd have to work with your oncologist, get some permission. We do, again, work collaboratively. So I encourage you to call the number back and just let them know that you need to have a phone appointment first with the physician or even one of the nurse practitioners to make sure that you're a good candidate. Because again, I absolutely don't want you to come in and get your blood drawn if there's nothing that we can do. I will tell you this though, they are starting to give hormones to a lot of cancer patients just because of what you said. The chemo is just knocking everything out. So the world is becoming a little bit wider when it comes to cancer patients, but I cannot 100% guarantee that we will be allowed to give them to you.
Yeah, and safety is priority
yes,
one. I think that we get a lot of questions in that regard, and whenever I've talked to you or your husband Ted, it's always like, look, we're going to be safe first. That's number one. So there will be some work done, a little bit of recon work, and then we'll get back with George. Let's grab another call and talk to Jamie. Jamie, welcome into Wave 3 Listens. Hello, Jamie.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi, my question is about my thyroid. I have been going to the same doctor for about 15 years now, and I guess it's about the last 4 years is when we found out that I have a low thyroid, I think is what he said.
Hypothyroid?
So he put me on the Thyroid, and I have been on it ever since he diagnosed me. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, ever since he diagnosed you.
I apologize. And so I took it about up to 3 months ago. I stopped taking it. I just stopped taking that. I stopped taking my cholesterol medicine. And there's another one I stopped taking. And I have lost weight in the past 3 months.
Okay.
But it just seemed like with that thyroid medicine, that the Synthroid, I just wasn't getting anywhere. I'm in bed all the time, tired, don't want to get up.
Well, your situation is very similar to almost everyone that comes in. Well, yours is a little bit different. You were actually deemed hypothyroid, so they put you on thyroid medicine. What they did was they put you on T4. I don't know if you saw the screen before, but it went over TSH, T4, there it is again, and T3. So what you had, again, was T4, and that is inactive. The problem is if you're experiencing symptoms, you're not getting the T3 piece. So the type of thyroid that we do provides both the T3 and the T4. So we're going to look at everything, and again, if you're 35 or above or anywhere close to that, that T3 piece is likely going to be low, and we're going to make it optimal. We're going to give you back what you had when you were 25, because we're 25 again. So that's something that would be very important for you to come in and have tested, because I can almost guarantee you've never had your T3 tested. You've probably had your TSH and your T4, and a lot of people do not respond to just T4. Some do, and they'll have some relief of some of the symptoms, but then they'll still have all of these other symptoms, and they wonder why. Well, you're not getting the full thyroid that you need. So I would encourage you to come in, bring in whatever results you already have, and then we'll just test the extra that we need.
All right, a lot of great questions. As we come back, we'll tell you again about the special from Wave 3 Listens and from 25 again. We'll be right back after these.